It's a little mind twisting that happens as we try to convey to you the wholeness of who you are. We know that it's not easy to wrap your thoughts around things that you can't see, but we also know you are vibrational beings and have been from the moment you set forth into this physical body. There has been a vibrational relationship going on between you and you, between the non-physical you who remains in non-physical, even though the physical you is here. There has been a vibrational relationship going on between you and you as long as you have been here in this physical body. And that relationship between you and you is evidenced to you by the emotions that you feel. What we want you to hear us say, the meaning that we want you to collect from this conversation is that the emotions that you feel are your vibrational indicators of the blending or the resisting between you and you. And as you allow yourself to feel your way into alignment with who you are, as you tune that frequency, we promise you it will broadcast in a way that you can hear it. It will broadcast in a way that you can see it. It must manifest. It will come into full view for you in powerful ways if you will allow yourself to be a vibrational match to what is present tense from our point of view. Now, in order for you to get very good at that, you could stand in the middle of a problem and say, oh, wait. I remember Abraham said, if I'm standing in the middle of a problem, the solution is already there. So good to know. It's already there. Instead of saying, where is it? I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I've been here so long. I'm unhappy about being here. I'm afraid. I'm disappointed. I don't deserve this. What has gone wrong in my life experience? This problem should not be mine. I don't want it, but I've got it. Will you help me? I'm afraid. And we say, as you beat the drum of where you are in your problem, you hold yourself vibrationally out of earshot, out of feel shot, out of the feeling place of what's going on, the solution that's already present tense over here in this vortex of creation. So all day today, you're going to hear us. You're going to talk about a lot of things, and we're going to give you one eventually very boring answer. Go to the vortex, 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 until eventually we'll break you down and someone will scream from the back row, how do we get in the vortex? And we want you to understand that the vortex is a vibrational state of being that you feel your way to. And the way you go to the vortex is by reaching for the feeling of what the vortex feels like. So we're just going to tell you what the vortex feels like. The vortex feels like this place of well-being, where a feeling of well-being, a feeling of stamina, a feeling of vitality. It's that fresh feeling. Your baby's coming in, they're aligned. The more they hang around with you, the less aligned they are. Because you find so much to fuss and worry about in your exploration of contrast. Now, that in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's perfectly wonderful to look around your world and acknowledge the parts of it that you do not want. But when you keep the parts that you do not want active within you, you prevent yourself from being a vibrational match to the parts you do want, you see. And we just want you to understand that you have the ability to do a much better job of tuning yourself than you usually do. Tuning yourself to the furthest expansion of who you are. Everything is about your proximity to your vortex. So sometimes people talk about faith. They have faith that something that they haven't seen happen will happen. And we say the true definition of faith is the understanding of the laws of the universe, understanding that your source stands in complete compliance and becoming of the expanded version of you. And when you understand the reality of that, and you pay attention to the way you feel, you can trust that anything that you want will be. Then it's just a matter of discipline. Then it's just a matter of directing your mind. Esther got on a sort of rampage where she was basking her way to sleep every night, and then awakening in the morning and coming back into basking and appreciating, and then moving right into some focus wheels, which we'll talk about here today, which cleaned up some random screwy vibration. And then she'd go into a list of positive aspects and off into a rampage of appreciation. And she was just tuning herself into the vortex deliberately, getting into the vortex, which simply means releasing any thought that would hold her out. That's all that being in the vortex means. It's cleaning up your vibration, ridding yourself of resistant thought that holds you out of the vortex. And then she began to notice that life from inside the vortex. First, she began to say to Jerry, I had no idea how often I was not in the vortex until I got in and really felt what it feels like. From inside the vortex, there is a clarity and a feeling of well-being. It's like being soothed. It's like knowing the all is wellness. It makes things that have loomed large seem nitpicking and unimportant, while the well-being is what radiates. And so, as they find themselves, by deliberate focus, more and more often inside the vortex, then the universe can play the game of cooperative components from inside the vortex. In other words, imagine being vibrationally inside your vortex and therefore emotionally soaring with fun and frisky and thrill and love, and moving around your physical planet under those conditions. Do you see how the life you live brings your expansion into focus? And the only reason when we say, are you appreciating the contrast of your time and place, that any of you would say, no, not really, is when you're standing outside the vortex. If you could just hear us clearly and make a decision that you are going to do a little more ignoring reality as it is, and a little more looking in the direction of the vibrational reality that you have launched. Talking more about where you're going and less about where you are. Talking more about what you want and why you want it, and less about how it's going to come, where it's going to come from, who's going to bring it, and when it's going to get there. As you talk about who you really are and what you really want, you will find yourself hanging around in the vicinity of this vortex where you will finally be. And these are the words we want to ring through you forevermore. We want you to know that in your vortex of creation, where the larger part of you is, law of attraction responding to the vibration of you, all cooperative components are assembled. And the question that you want to ask yourself all day, every day is, am I a cooperative component? And the answer is, if you're frisky, yes. If you're exhilarated, yes. If you're loving someone, yes. If you're happy, yes. If you're ornery, no. If you're afraid, no, 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 no. If you're criticizing, no. If you're worried about money, no, 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 no. So, this gathering, we call it the art of allowing, the art of figuring out how to allow myself in my physical form to be that which the source within me has become as a result of my exposure to this contrast here and now. Do you see how it all fits together? There are no words to convey to you the appreciation that we feel from this non-physical vantage point for the leading edge work that you all are doing. We want to assure you that your future, that the future of this planet, that the future of all that you know as physicality, it is magnificently laid out before you. And when you find something to fuss and worry about, the most significance that that has is that for you, right here, right now, you prevent yourself from being the full being that you really are. And here is the most significant thing that you will hear from us this day or ever. That negative emotion that you feel simply means that you are not keeping up with you. You are not keeping up with who you have become as a result of the life that you've been living. So, Jerry and Esther have been making their way from California here for the last several days. And in the process, they've been thinking about ways that it could be better. And it's really fun to watch them constantly trying to figure out how this could be a little better and how this could be a little better. And so this morning, they were chatting about some new ideas they have about making their transfer from place to place the best that they can possibly think of. And as they are conjuring these new ideas and contemplating and chewing around them, Esther found herself pointing out something that happened a long time ago in a hotel parking lot on the other side of this continent. And Esther said, that was the day with that drive shaft disconnect that I really hurt my knee. And Jerry said, I remember that. And Esther said, maybe we shouldn't dig up bad things that we didn't like and activate them again now. And yet, there is this walk down memory lane. Sometimes in the process of defining what you want, you're pointing out some of what you didn't want. And we say, that's part of the deciphering process, isn't it? You don't really know clearly what you do want until you've lived a little bit of what you don't want. It's all part of the focusing process. But it's so interesting how in that focusing process, you come to new conclusions that work better for you. But then it seems, and this is the thing that trips you up more than all other things put together, it seems, you defend your new choice by reminding yourself how bad it was before. Not realizing that every time you return to that, you reactivate the vibration of that, which keeps you from clearly and purely being a match to who you now are and what you really want. That's why family reunions feel so awful. You go back to that place where you used to live, and back to that place where you used to vibrate differently, and you talk to those people who remember you as you were then, even though you are in a whole different vibrational place. And as you go there and focus and remember and look through family albums and watch those old videos and talk over old times, you activate who you were that does not jive with who you are. And when you do that, you feel less good the longer you do it. You say, oh, it's nostalgia. And we say, oh, it's disconnection from who you really are. Well, this has been a wonderful day of moving into new places. So let's recap together for just a moment. As you sit here in your physical body, do you claim your physicality more right now or your non-physical beingness? Which feels more like you? And yet here you are in these bodies, clumps sitting individually, flesh, blood, and bone, manifested, having become. Others can see you and hear you and smell you. They can feel you. They can taste you. In other words, with their physical senses, they can observe you. They can catalog you and pigeonhole you. They can define you. They can discover you. They can label you. They can identify you. They can sort of take you in and sum you up and come to a conclusion about you. But can anyone who is not you know you? So the non-physical you, the vibrational you, can observe you in your physical body and doesn't smell you and doesn't see you and doesn't hear you and doesn't taste you and doesn't touch you. But the non-physical you, as it observes the physical you, knows you vibrationally, knows who you were prior to coming into this physical body, knows unequivocally the worthiness and the truth and the power and the love and the meaning of that which you were. But even more than that, that source energy, as it perceives you, knows everything that all that you have lived has caused you to become. And how does that non-physical you know you so completely? It is because it is you so completely. The non-physical you is all that you have become, leaving out discouragement, unworthiness, leaving out, uncertainty, insecurity. The non-physical you is the synthesized version